Hi friends, welcome back for another episode of Technical Analysis with me, your friend Rocky Outcrop, and check out the sky. There's traffic going both ways, just behind me. Look at that. What way's the price going though as the traffic is going both ways? This sky is so wonderful. Just look at that. Oh my gosh. Just before we go into the video, I've got your attention here just for a second. Right, this account here on Deribit, I forgot to mention it in the recording, so I'm just adding this in, then I'm sticking it in before I even do the other thing. Oh my god, it's crazy, video editing magic. So it's the Deribit account here is going to be going away to one of you lucky people out there is going to win it. You can see up here where I'm hovering now that the name on the account is Winner01. That's the very first Rocky Outcrop competition amongst all of us who's going to win this account. So remember, let me know in the comments below how you think I should actually do this giveaway. If it should be some sort of prize, some sort of competition where people have to compete with each other somehow. It should be a quiz, a random lucky winner drawn from a hat, some sort of raffle, some sort of lottery, some sort of just give it away to anybody who likes and subscribes. Let me know what you think should happen with this account, because I want to make it as fun and fair as possible. Of course, it's only eligible for people who are eligible to trade on Deribit. I won't be giving it away to somebody who isn't eligible for that. Of course, stay within the rules. So you can see anyway, there's a position there on the account. It's 120% in profit at the minute. That's lovely, and the account value at the minute is gone up by 10% more than since when I deposited myself, and of course the price of Bitcoin itself has gone up more, so that's great. It's more than $10 that's in there for sure. That's great. So let me know what you think. Hi friends, welcome back for another video, and thank you so much for tuning in. It's Bitcoin versus US dollar 24-hour Bitstamp chart. You can see up there in the top corner up towards that direction. If you're looking for what I'm looking at any given time, you can see up here, and you can see that I've got the 24 number selected. That's the 24-hour chart, and I use the 24 because it gives me a countdown on the day, which I find to be a handy thing. And since I live in the UK and find it handy, if you're living in a foreign country with a different time zone, you're going to find it even handier even than I do. Okay, so if you like and subscribe to this video, then you're a superstar. You're the best thing in the world ever. I think you're amazing, and a check for $10 billion is on its way to you in the post, so look out for that. Thank you so much, really, just thank you so much. I super appreciate it, and thank you for tuning back in. This is the 41st one of these episodes. I do these every day. So let's take a look at the charts. I'll try and run through a couple of extra coins again at the end here, like I did yesterday, and see how things are going there. But before we do, I thought I would just show you a couple of little things. Now, I've added a channel to the Bitcoin chart. You can see it here, pow, 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 and you can see that I've got it going, and I've got quite a few touches along the top, so I'm satisfied with that position, and I have a touch here on the bottom. You know, you need a couple of touches, otherwise what are you doing? Touch here, but you'll be wondering, oh, it breaks down here and then back up again. Why did I choose to do that? Well, I've also got a touch over here. I chose to do that because this is the right hand side of this head and shoulders here, and that sort of price action was determined by other factors other than this channel. In fact, this channel didn't exist then, and even at that, this channel is actually kind of redundant, which is why I've not had it on the chart so far. And well, shall I keep it there or not? I don't know. The only reason I put it on is because I feel like at the back of my head I've got this feeling that maybe some people will be thinking, why have I not got one on for the minute when I could so easily draw one on, especially since I was a big fan of the channel here for so long before then. Why not? Well, figured I'd put that on there for us. Right, so let's just take a wee look here, and you'll notice something else is going on. I've got some ectoplasmal, ethereal, gobbledygook garbage jobbies in the background there. Jobbies is a Scottish colloquialism for poop. So what is this? What's that smear of jobbies you've got there in the background? Well, let's just look at it. That's called BB. That means Bollinger Band, right? And I'm just going to, and you can see the length is 20. What does that refer to? Well, it's calculated using 20 candles of 20 periods on the chart, so whatever chart you're looking at. But of course, there's a middle band in here, and that is the 20 period moving average essentially, right? Okay, so or basis is what they're calling that. So basis, we're going to make that white so it's visible. Okay, you see how it just suddenly became visible there? It's visible. I'll make it black so you can see. Look, keep your eye over here, and then white. See, now it's there, right? Now I'm going to make it thick. Bong. So it's really quite visible. Okay. Sorry, let's go back here. Make the top bands white as well. Make them real visible. Sure, why not to do that? white, no, grey. So you red. Yeah, red, right. Really red, really visible. And the background. Now the background, bear with me, going to make this disgusting so that you can see it really easily. Okay, let's just go with that. Now I know the chase action itself and everything else is less visible. Oh, okay, we'll just go with that, right? That's a compromise. So we can see the disgusting Bollinger Bands. Now, do I think that these are? I think that these add anything to the charts? No, I think that they're the sort of thing that can make you look groovy if you're trying to show off to other people. Are they useful? Yeah, they're really useful. Are they good? Yeah, they're really good. There's a good thing. It's a good. A lot of really successful people trade with the Bollinger Bands. Why don't I do it? I think there's various different reasons, but essentially you're always looking for confluence, and this information that develops any given thing that you're looking at on the chart is derived from the same place, basically price and time. So there's various different ways of coming up with similar sort of information. Now I'll get through that real quick, and I have a reason for bringing these up in the first place. So I just wanted, but it's mostly just educational purposes. Okay, that white line, that's a 20 moving average. Okay, if you've heard of Bollinger Bands before, if you've never heard of Bollinger Bands before, then great, welcome to the world of Bollinger Bands, right? And I'm not going to bother explaining them very much, but what are they useful for? As you've never heard of them before, well, they can be useful for seeing if there's going to be some volatility in the market, and it can be useful as sort of seeing where the trend is going and where the likelihood, the sort of upper and lower ends of where the price could potentially go to, and that's really what it's useful for. Okay, if you've never used them before, or if you have used them before and you've been wondering why they're not that amazing or something like that, then maybe knowing what they're not useful for it would be helpful for you. What they're not useful for is saying things like that looking for the reversal of the trends, or for finding volatility when you're in a trend already. So let me just explain what I mean by that. A lot of people have put these Bollinger Bands on their chart, and they say to them things like, well, they look at it and go, oh, look, it comes up, it touched the top off there. What happens is when it's going to touch the top of the Bollinger Bands, it's touched the top band, now it's due to come back and touch the middle part. That's a gross oversimplification and going to get you wrong most of the time. That's the wrong way to use them. But people do think, oh, it touches the bottom, it touched the bottom band, it's going to go up towards the middle. Then when it hits the middle, it's going to go down to the bottom again, and then it's when it hits the bottom, it's going to go up to the top. And they're looking at this sort of thing, thinking, yes, this is how it works. Oh, we crossed over here. We'll hit the top, and then we'll come back to the middle. Then we'll hit the bottom, and then we'll go back to the middle, and then we'll hit the top. And so you can see how the temptation exists there to think like that. When the price is trending, the Bollinger Band actually shows you where the price is. It gives you if it goes past this line, there's 95% chance that the price will be in and amongst that line. Really, basically, that's what you're looking at always. That is going to be in and around that area. Okay, and if it goes beyond there, well, there's a 95% chance that it wouldn't really go beyond there. So when it does, it can sometimes give you a little sort of a warning and say, hey, look, maybe it's kind of used up a lot of its energy here by going beyond the realms of what we really thought was possible. It might come back up again, but of course, as you can see here, it went down again, did it again, but it had confluence there, actually hit off the bottom of that channel, and there was other reasons why you could have used that piece of information. Up here again, same sort of deal, as well as all that. But really, what you're looking for is if the is for it to stick on and stay on its band where it is, like it'll stay on here. Like, see, look, it came up here. This is the information that we've all been useful for if you've been trading in 2020. Up here, we're all used to. This is the information we've all seen if you've been trading 2020. Come up here, touch the top Bollinger Band. Yeah, sure, it's going to come down and go to the middle again during corrections and retraces. That's natural and healthy during the market. Then it's going to go back up to there. Likelihood is it won't really extend further beyond there. Go back down and go up and down. Now, if you understand that dynamic a bit better now, possibly, then you might also understand that when it's trading sideways, when the Bollinger Bands get quite narrow, then you're looking for. Then it indicates that they're really getting quite close to potentially having a breakout of volatility coming into the market again. So over here, they were going sideways. During this period, the Bollinger Bands from over here getting narrower, 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 even narrower, and then the breakout happened. That was interesting. Over here, narrower, narrower bands compared to over here. But then that sort of fairly anomalous breakout happened. Over here, you can see the bands were getting narrower again, but we were looking at a head and shoulders pattern at the time anyway, and then sort of narrowed up after the fact there as they're trending up. But you wouldn't look, but we're in a trend at the minute. So if you're thinking to yourself, oh, we need to get some volatility, when are we going to do the volatility? Then you're thinking about this completely wrong. And also the markets had look at that. There's several $100 move there, several $100 move there, several $100 move there, big old few $100 moves in that wick. We're talking significant percentage moves during the market. This is that. What's that known as? That's known as volatility. And there's volatility within the market during this trend. Look at that. The price was up at 10,195, went as low as 9,700 and or so. That's $400 or $500 there. And we've got a big candle here from 8,900 all the way up to 9,400, and then a couple of days 9,500. So you're talking like $800 over a period of a couple of days. The bottom of the wick here 9,100, top of the wick there 9,600, and that was in the space of maybe over 2 candles, sure, but in the space of like a number of hours really. Between that, where you're getting hundreds and hundreds of dollars moves, you know what that's called? That's called volatility. So if you're looking at this thing and you're thinking, if you're looking at the minute and you're like, when are we going to get the volatility? You're in an uptrend, right? You've been in a trend, and during that trend, you've had a healthy volatility during it. Anyway, I've explained the Bollinger Bands now. I've explained what they're used for. I've explained what they're not used for. Hopefully, help some people out there. And I'm going to get these disgusting things off my chart now and not put them back on for quite some time, most likely. Although I could, when looking at the disgusting at the shitcoins. So just take a wee quick dive into the shitcoins. There's something I wanted to show you. We've got one versus BNB. I thought I'd show you that. Look at this, right? It came down, went out here, 95% chance it would stay within here. This is kind of somewhat going against the standard deviation of that. And then it's come back up here. Looking at the oscillators, this is a downtrend. This is the daily chart that we're in, as you can see. And look at that. That's bullishly divergent here on this downtrend. They've had some bullish divergence here on this downtrend. We've got this sort of hard push down which happened, which does mean that this on the RSI isn't really bullishly divergent, but it's, pardon me, quite close to being Class B. Make it big. It's not Class B. It's not. But we got hidden bullish divergence during this. Whatever, not really. But anyway, down here in the MACD, what have we got? This here, look at that, and look at that, and you could say, hey, look, we are getting both bullish, hidden bullish we're getting bullish divergence on here. Sorry, getting bullish divergence on this one here, and you never know. One coin versus BNB might be something to keep an eye out on over the next day or two. Who knows, right? Anyway, taking all that crap off, I don't think it would be very useful for anything else. If you want to see it there's Litecoin, same as Bitcoin essentially at the minute. Here's Link, Link extending it above this area. Do I expect a pullback within the next 24 hours to be within the Bollinger Bands? Probably, Is it doing really well? Yes. Just because it's up here doesn't mean it's going to the middle. Definitely not. This is what you expect in an uptrend, is to be trending up with the band, can come down for healthy retraces and then continue doing the same thing, downtrend with the bands. So I hope you're getting the point about how to use the Bollinger Bands during a trend in that sense, and I think that's enough looking at that. Let's get rid of that and never talk about it ever again. So there's that trend, that channel as well. Do I want to have that channel on there? Does it serve us any purpose? Not particularly. The 20 in the Bollinger Band, right, just take it from me. You can't be bothered putting it back on. 20, sorry. If you want me to be less lazy in my videos, let me know in a comment down below. But the 20 is a moving average, and it's right next to that 21, okay? So you'd have confluence between the 20 and the 21 on the Bollinger Band. Now, why do I want to point that out specifically? Screw it, I'll put it back on. I'll be less lazy, just so that you can see. Sort of like sometimes why these things become useful is when the standard use of the Bollinger Bands is to have the 20 as your moving average. Gosh, it's red. It's right there. It's really difficult to see. Again, okay, so that's white. Can you see it better now? Yeah, they're right next to each other, right? So you might have people looking at that, and that creates a degree of sort of commonality in the market, even if somebody's coming at it from a completely different paradigm, using different technical analysis basis for their understanding. They could be looking around this area and thinking, yes, we could get a reversal of we could get a support, we could get supported around this area, and somebody else might be just simply looking at the 21 and not have the Bollinger Bands mucking up their charts there. And you see how these creates overlaps in terms of technical analysis coming from different points of view, which is why it's a good idea to sort of have an idea of what's going on, and why when you're looking at the 21 moving average, what you're looking at is more than just the 21 moving average. It's in and around areas of different things, different areas of confluence, and that's why these things stack up. You know, it's a bit much to say, hey, the reason why the price is going to go up from there is because, you know, that's where it's been better than that on average over the 21 days, and that's just that. That's really a massive oversimplification of it. It's also not really how, you know, these things are. A lot of humans and robots and everything involved in this market are looking at more than just like kind of going, well, it's better than it has been on average as a sort of as a basis for making their decisions. Anyway, I think I've kind of wrung that dry. And what are we looking at in terms of the price? Well, the price has come up here. We got rejected off of this, as we said we would probably on our first pass. And what we're concerned about is whether or not we're going to stay above this area here at 9,500 and X 5,050, 5,030, whatever you want to choose as your number. We're being supported currently technically by the 10 simple, although that's of course of minor significance. Easy to break. Sorry. Really, the area to be of note is around where the 21 is at the minute, because we've got the that would be forming a higher low. If we came all the way down there, a higher low on this uptrend could happen all the way down as far as here without being a problem at all whatsoever. So something to bear in mind on that front there. Okie dokie, dokie dokie, okie dokie, okie doke. Is there anything else we really need to look at in this front? I mean, we pointed out any divergences and everything else recently. Got a very nice trend here, ding, 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 ding. You could draw very easily a trend line on this if you want to, and say, look at that, and that's kind of us up into the bullish control zone, where we could spend a wee while afterwards. Let's hope that we get to live in amongst that there, and that we get to live above the trend. Same thing could be done across the board on all the different oscillators, so I'll not waste your time by actually doing it. We're looking at, though, here how we've still got bearish divergence appearing on the charts, but it's an uptrend, okay? It's an uptrend, and you get that sort of thing happening in an uptrend. Is this actually bearish divergence? Well, no, it's managed to get above it by like $1 or whatever, so it's not actually bearishly divergent. And on this point here, is this bearish divergence? Well, look, yeah, right, it is between these 2 points here. Yeah, but it's class B. I wouldn't write home about it. That there and that there is lower, and that's higher. Okay, so we set a higher low, and that was higher there. It wouldn't go any lower, but this was hidden bullish divergence on this low here. And could we get some coming up? I don't know. We've not really. Have we set in a low by looking at the oscillators? This is something that was bad way to do technical analysis. See, it doesn't really work. But we haven't seen any sort of look like that there, you know. So that's could potentially continue to come down. You could see this flatten out or whatever. I don't know. This here bar is being so small, I wouldn't be surprised if the lows were actually still part of the sort of technically positive candle, just like an almost nothing there. Could be, as we set in a low, of course, as well. We could even go on lower. Could all the way down here, and that would be fine. And in fact, you could even probably end up getting hidden bullish divergence, since this is so pathetically small. This is small. This is small. You could probably get hidden bullish divergence on this here if you were to go down here. In fact, if you were to go down here, I would anticipate hidden bullish divergence for sure. Right. Okay. That's enough of that. That's enough of Bitcoin. What the target's been identified really in terms of managing your trades, or where these lines are, and rather than read it all out for you and everything else, is spread that out so you can easily see it on your screens. And that says 9661, 9757, 9529, and 9182. There's where those lines happen to be. The 9500 one obviously being the first port of call in terms of support and what we'd want to see being held up. Of course, this in here where the 20 Bollinger Band moving average is, and where the high of this previous higher low thing was. So the 20 Bollinger Band, the 21 moving average, and the 382 Fibonacci retracement are all in that area. So there's a great degree of support confluence there. It doesn't mean the price is necessarily going to go there, but that would be a better long than anywhere up here, obviously. But you know, you might have to wait for a while for that to ever happen, and there, you know, it might not happen at all. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if it didn't. I kind of suspect that it won't, just to be clear there. All right, so we looked at 1BNB already as part of my little chat there, and said what I needed to be said there, which is cool. There's one versus Bitcoin. Would I trade it versus Bitcoin? Not necessarily. Don't think that's a great idea, but indeed, you've got your bottoming type formation here. You've got convergence here, convergence here, convergence here. And yeah, there's nothing really scary going on. We got rejected from the 100 on our first pass, supported by the 55. Not come up to hit the 200 simple yet. I would expect that would probably get rejected on that one at that point. but really we want to look at it versus the dollar. But anyway, there's versus the dollar there. And we have already got our Fibonacci's and everything drawn in here. You can see a couple of days in decision. That's fine. Could we go up and try and bust above this again? Sure. I reckon the 200 symbol could come down here and be in this area where this actual horizontal is as well at the time, right between these 2 points here. And then breaking above it would be part of going between the horizontals, going up to the next retrace and breaking through the 200 symbol at the same time. Sort of gives you that 3-for-1, your fabric conditioner and detergent in one. Your shampoo and conditioner in one. Let's look at Link versus the US dollar, not versus Bitcoin. Here it is versus Bitcoin. Oh my god, let's take all of our money out and put it into no, don't. Here it is versus this. This is good, right? This is where we want it to be. Did we say that that in yesterday's video that in this range here we'd be rather taking a long from down here than in the middle of a range? As always, yes. I would just say if we so we could have done if that was what you were looking at. And now we're up here at the 360 level, and we're looking, can we break that above that? If we can't, then of course then you'd be thinking, well, let's just see if we need to rely on that support yet again. We're somewhat sort of bearish, class B bearish divergence there, but we're not on the stochastics. And are we on this? Yes, we are bearishly divergent on the Bollinger Band or the MACD down below, so something possibly to be aware of. Let's stick the VPVR back on. BPVR, volume profile, visible range, down. Right, let's make it so it's less fat. Sorry guys, 100 on that, that'll do. Wow, that's better. So yeah, look at that drop off in trading, as expected. Are we up here in all sort of, yeah, see, it's blue sky type times. Where could we go to? If we break up above this here, then I would be expecting the price potentially to go up as high as 420s. But I would be wary. This would be coming up to all-time high territories. It could easily get some sort of resistance pullbacks in there. Definite opportunities to be re-entering if you were to just be taking profit now at the 360 if you were to be doing that. And then afterwards as well down here at 320. But could it happen? Yes, it certainly could happen. We've got a drop off in price. Is there anything standing out on these things to be aware of? Yeah, there's bearish divergence between these 2 points here, but is it a big deal? There's convergence between these points here. It's this point here and this point here. Could we get a pullback before going up? Or was this the pullback on that candle there that we already got and spoke about in yesterday's video in terms of taking a trade off of that for today's benefit? I wonder. I don't know. It's impossible to tell. Nobody ever knows. Prices aren't predictive. Anybody who does say that they are is a liar. Is there any hidden bullish divergence? I don't think so. And there's a tiny bit of bearish divergence again on the MACD. Nothing much to be said there. It hasn't already been said. Let's look at stupid Tezos. Why do I call it stupid Tezos? Right, we're in the middle of the range here. Anyone going long or short here is taking an extra additional risk. What do I feel like is the overall likelihood with this coin at the minute? Well, I feel like the bulls have done their work. They've done everything. They've got it up here. They've done everything they needed to do without having any divergences. There's a big drop off in trading activity. Basically none there. There's basically nothing has ever been bought or sold here. Do I expect that to be filled up and for the price to come back down here to around this $2.30 mark before maybe considering what it's going to do next with itself? Yeah, I probably do, to be perfectly honest with you. But could it just keep going up and trading on up? Yes, it could. Do we know where this money's coming from? No, we don't. Do we know why this is happening at all? No, we don't. Does this coin have any real reason to exist? No, not really. It does have staking on there, and you can't stake very easily on some other coin, on Ethereum or whatever, but you can stake as much as you like on plenty of other coins. It had some publicity, which is good, but I don't really know if there's anything. I just like the fact that it's gone parabolic here, and that's what we're looking at. Could we continue a parabolic range? Yeah, we could. And when we do break out this parabolic range, can we expect to have an 80% retrace on it? Yeah, we probably could as well. Say that were to have happened now, you'd be looking at the price going down as high as, potentially even as high as, or as low as, this is kind of just, well, what's the opposite of blue sky thinking or whatever, really depressive thoughts. That going all the way down to 60 cents, it could potentially do that. It could potentially Could potentially do that, but I'm not going to waste time talking about that sort of thing right now, any more than I already have. What we're looking at here is between these two bands here is actually essentially is what we're looking at, and in terms of choosing the entries and exits on that. If you're going to be doing that, those prices there, 230, 290. If it breaks above 290, well then, hey, there's like nothing in terms of like previous price action to say where we're going, but we'll be highly extended at that point, and the price will be moving parabolically. There could easily be a retrace, and you'd be wanting to look at having a at that point what I would do is I would draw in a Fibonacci. I would say this is it here, in fact, and is that the Fibonacci thing? No, that's not it, sorry. I always get confused between those two. Fibonacci. It's a wasted take it from the bottom here. Up to the top here. And drop that in and say, right, so imagine that was the actual top at the minute, which it may well be, could be, who knows. Then you'd have the price come down here. This is where I could expect to see support there, or indeed where this blue line is. Anywhere there's a wick, that'd be fine. If it didn't, then the price would be going on down to here at $2 flat. And then if it didn't there, then you've got these two other lines. There's no coincidence, there's confluence here. For anybody who's invested in Tezos, there you go, that's what's going on at the minute. If it doesn't ever get below this, which is also quite likely, then I would delete this Fibonacci retracement and I wouldn't look at it anymore because it's a waste of time. This just essentially is our first target for if this is going to continue down. This is the danger zone. So the initial, so you know, with an exit that's gone into blue skies and it's gone parabolic recently, you have to look at kind of parabolic. You have to look at like what would be the danger zones on a retrace and make up hypotheticals to sort of so that you can dismiss them as time goes by if they're wrong. And that's what I'd be doing there. And I hope that's helpful to somebody. Right, I do these videos every day. Tune in tomorrow for another one. And thank you very much for joining me. Please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you think doing the altcoins and whatnot is worthwhile. And yeah, thanks very much for joining me. I like you as much as you like me, so please hit that button because I want to hit it 1,000 times for all of you guys. See you.